In our final little area, took a look around on the map and it looks like there's only 3 side quests here. This one should be short and sweet. Oh, the correct term would be bittersweet. No. There's no specific stars. The Mesoterminal. This colossal golden structure arises from the center of living memory, a glittering monument to Alexandria's eternal queen. It also serves as the central terminal for Everkeep's core system. Wow, their moon is still there. Daguerreo Archivist. The canals of history. Unreturned books are a nightmare for any lending library. Welcome to Daguerreo Medical Collection. Forgive me for being so forthright, but I don't suppose I could ask you a small favor. The facility's medical history texts were formerly available on loan, but several borrowers have disappeared and are no longer able to return their books. I was hoping you'd be able to collect the outstanding monographs. Eventually, I too will be erased. I can't imagine the collection will receive any more visitors. Nevertheless, a vast wealth of knowledge is contained within these walls, and I have every faith that it will prove useful to someone, someday. Hence my determination to ensure that no document is left behind. I shall search the northern side of town. I see you check the southern terrace. If you find any books that relate to medical history, I'd be grateful if you could bring them back to me. Who are you? Medical applications of electrical energy. The technique of stimulating the body with electrical energy to alleviate pain and other conditions has recently garnered a great deal of attention in medical circles. In more practical terms, the abundance of electrical energy means this technique is also attractive from an economic standpoint. However, concerns about the dangers of a corporeal etheric imbalance remain, not least among ethereological researchers, many of whom disapprove of the technique. A thorough study into the potential side effects of electrical treatments is clearly warranted. The appearance of Electrope has triggered a profound transformation in Alexandrian medicine. Indeed, it would be no exaggeration to suggest that we are on the cusp of a new epoch. Though it would be premature to dismiss the continued importance of time-honored arts such as herbology and healing magics. We must be aware that any advances made via the application of Electrope are bound to foster new techniques. When an etheric imbalance occurs within the body, a number of issues present themselves. An overabundance of lightning energy can adversely affect sight and the other senses, eventually leading to paralysis. Due to the environmental changes that occurred 400 years ago, Queen's Fiend herself reportedly suffered from an imbalance toward lightning energy, ultimately succumbing to her affliction. Perhaps because of this, efforts to establish a viable treatment have historically been approached with a degree of haste. Excellent timing. I just returned from my search. Were you able to recover any documents? 3 of them, in fact. Access to ages, etheric imbalance, in remarkably good condition. Wonderful. These were the last outstanding monographs. I can't begin to thank you enough. The Daguerreotype Medical Collection has always been dedicated to archiving and exhibiting the medical history of the entire continent, as well as tomes and treatises. The facility is home to a whole host of artifacts, including old curios and medical automata. Alas, I am now the only remaining archivist, and the doors of the collection have been closed to prevent the ingress of fiends. You strike me as a more recent arrival. I would love to hear what you know of modern medical techniques.
Certain conditions remain incurable.
I see. Perhaps you speak of the ill effects of etheric imbalance. It saddens me to hear that no major breakthroughs have been made by your time. And the history of medicine is never-ending. An ailment is discovered, a treatment is devised. New techniques lead to new diagnoses, and new diagnoses require new treatments, much like the cycle of rain to river, sea to cloud. Technological progress flows ever onwards. As techniques advance, so too does medicine, and the incurable afflictions of the present are consigned to the past. My duty is to catalog these trials and tribulations that the knowledge may spur the next breakthrough. Nothing could fill me with more pride, which is why I plan to maintain the collection till the very moment I disappear. Excuse me. Please accept my heartfelt thanks for everything you've done for the Daguerreotype Medical Collection. Brotherly bonds know no barrier. Clever youngling is looking for someone. I recognize you from the founding celebration.
That was a night.
If I'm not the only one who got left behind, then maybe, just maybe he's still... I'm looking for my brother, you see. The two of us were hardly ever apart, which is why I'm starting to think I'll be stuck here until we're reunited. But with Yesterland like this, I'm worried about overlooking something. Would you mind coming with me? If you're able to help, just say the word. Help me look for him? Yay! Thank you! Alright, check near the air cab station, so let's head for the Bergmar Ring.
Let's go. Let's go look for your brother, then. I'll beat these up later. Let's worry about your problems first.
The Bergmar Ring was great. It was so fun to ride, and beautiful too, especially when it was all lit up. Seeing it always used to make me happy. Some of the naughty kids used to have competitions to see how far they could launch their shoes while they were riding it. Once, someone accidentally set their shoe flying right into Otis while he was on patrol. You should have seen the look on their face. It's strange seeing this place so empty now. No sign of my brother either. You should take a look near the Esperance wheels next.
So the Ferris wheels, the Esperance wheels? Yeah, we do that.
I remember a game some of us used to play here. Two people would split up and ride on opposite wheels. When the cabins got close enough, we'd reach out and try to link hands. It was quite the stretch, and you had to do all that while the cabins were moving. It's a miracle none of us got hurt. Apparently, any pair that pulled it off would share an unbreakable bond. I was always a bit skeptical, though. Still, part of me wishes I'd given it a try with my brother. Speaking of, there's no sign of him either. I mean, there's no sign of anyone. I thought he might have wandered this way to get a glimpse of the wheels up close, but I should have known better. No doubt he'd rather be tinkering with a cerulean engine than taking in the sights.
Wait, are you from Tuliolo?
What? Don't tell me you're from Tuliolo, too! Could have sworn I saw someone just like you when I was getting on the train that day. Does that mean people found a way of getting through the barrier after I died? I'm gonna think of it. There was another familiar face during the performance at the castle. That was Valwook Lamont with you, wasn't it? I wonder why I didn't realize it at the time.
Oh shit, the fuck is over.
Sorry, this is a lot to take in. If you have news of the outside world, pray tell me all you know.
Nuss.
I see.
Ever since we were children, my brother and I have always been inseparable. When Dawn Servant Kana first brought ceruleum to Thrall, we both marveled at its potential, and together helped develop the dirigible technology that our society came to rely on. So too were we charmed by the railroads of Shaoloni, but on that fateful day we parted ways. Since then, I've only known the confines of the dome. When Valwook Lamont took to the stage with you, she appeared much as she did the day of the Ascension ceremony, as a living person, no less. Might I ask, how Tuliolo fares? The people are still getting used to their new Dawn servants. That day I boarded the train. My brother decided to stay behind in Shaoloni to inspect the facilities nearby. If the world outside the dome is much the same as it was then, I can only assume he is alive and well. If that's the case, I suppose the search of mine was rather futile. But if he's out there, living his life to the fullest, nothing in the world could bring me more joy. The years we spent together were some of the happiest of my life. Not a moment went by that I didn't wish to return to those halcyon days. That isn't to say the life I've built here hasn't been worthwhile. I drew strength from those who met the same fate in Yasulani that day, and learned much and more from the engineers I became acquainted with. It took time, but I finally see that this period of my life was just as joyful, just as fulfilling. Were it not for the news you shared, I may never have come to this realization. Thank you. In the end, perhaps all I needed was an assurance that my dear brother is alive and well.
It's all good. The Tower of Mu. This place looks tiny. My heart. Holy shit. I don't know, man. I think I do like the zone a lot. But unfortunately it's gonna be one of those zones that I'll forget. And it's really sad thinking about it that way. But you know what's better? Is that even though I feel like I'm gonna forget this place, I'm gonna remember it at some point in time. And everything I feel now for it will just come flooding right back, as if it was that same day. Because a lot of those thoughts that ran through my mind moving through here. Those 2 different days. Namika, Otis, Kral's parents, even getting here. And just having to accept that this was like the last moment you're gonna have with somebody. That feeling is gonna hit hard. All over again. This is one of the most thought-provoking zones in the entire game. And all the buildings that you can't go to just lie beyond. That was their world. Here they stand, lying empty. They now live in the source. A new form of rejoining, I guess. Nobody had to die. Okay. Amiable Elder. Lynn Bloom, we hardly knew you. Amiable Elder seems starved for company. There I was beginning to think I was the only one left. Perhaps you'd like to join me for a moment or two. This place was something of an unending dream, but by all appearances the reverie is finally over. Well, to put it simply, I've been desperate to talk with somebody. If you feel like stretching your legs, why don't you come and find me by the bridge here in the Blooms of Discovery?
Yeah, I can do that.
I knew a lot.
I can do a lot. Yes, yeah.
Ah, I'm glad you came. I'll get straight to it. How familiar are you with the nation of Lindblom?
And what now? I know they were once at war with Alexandria.
Precisely. Alexandria fought with its neighbor Lindblom during the storm surge, and it was the latter who produced the dreadful weapon that wrought disaster. To focus on this period of conflict reveals a nation loathed by the people of Alexandria. Yet for much of the nation's shared history, Lindblom was simply a neighbor, albeit one with rather different customs. All this talking has put me in the mood for another wander. Come and find me when you're ready to hear the rest of my ramblings. Let us continue. Now, in many ways, a nation can be viewed as the culmination of technology and culture. I wonder where your interest lies.
For me, it's hard to pick one over the other.
That's often the case, is it not? I apologize for putting you on the spot. Lindblom was always revered for its technological prowess. After all, this was the nation that revolutionized travel with the invention of the air cab. Excuse me. And the airship. Designs that combined magic and machine to remarkable effect. Despite such advancements, they held dear to time-honored traditions, among them the hunt. Oh my god. This festival of frenzied violence saw city streets awash with the blood of fiends, intentionally released as sport for brave warriors seeking to prove their skills. Festival of the Hunt. A nation on the forefront of technological innovation, yet steeped in the wild vestiges of its past. An interesting duality, I'm sure you'll agree. Lest we get too comfortable standing here, I suggest we make for Lane to Arrow to finish our discussion. Yeah, they have Festival of the Hunt music, PvP, and personal conflict. I'm sure you have your reasons for being here, just as I have mine. Despite that, you chose to humor this old woman, and for that you have my thanks. I've had a wonderful time talking with you. You might have gathered by now, but in my past life I taught history. When the time came to retire, I stayed true to my passions and began to study my family's past. As I traced my lineage back through the generations, I made quite a startling discovery. One of my ancestors was originally from Lindblom. She had made her way to Alexandria around the time of the storm surge. The war broke out not long after she married. As far as I could glean from the records, instead of returning to her native land, she remained in Alexandria for the rest of her life. When I discovered my connection to Lindblom, I pledged to learn more of our longtime foe. Although records were scarce, I dedicated what time I had left to my research, determined that at the very least I would remember the nation's fate. If it's not too much to ask, I'd love to hear your thoughts about everything I've told you.
God's what I would have given to take part in one of those Lindblom hunts.
Oh, yes. I imagine a gallant adventurer like yourself would prove quite the worthy hunter. I must apologize. Knowing that this would be my last lecture, I got a little carried away. But I simply had to share this with someone. Little did I know that I'd be blessed with such an enthusiastic student. You're a kind soul indeed. May the time you have left here prove fruitful and fulfilling.
You're welcome.
Ooh, paints! The budding botanist is breathing rather heavily.
Hello. I don't think I've seen you before. I'm here to collect all sorts of leaves and flowers, just like my hero. I was looking for plants to add to my collection when a fiend burst out of the bushes and chased me away. I've only just caught my breath. I know it's a lot to ask, but would you mind helping me out?
Sure.
I'm looking for Nephaletta fronds, Arenaris leaves, and some banana leaves. Should be able to find everything nearby.
Nephaletta fronds, Arenaris leaves, and banana leaves. Fly up and over. There we go. I almost don't want to turn these in because if I do, it's like there we go, and that's it. You know what? Good. Good. Let's let them rest.
You're back. Did you find everything?
Faintly fragrant of the versatile, ever-popular fruit. Sprouting in cloud-like tufts, Nephaletta fronds were once used to brew a warming tea. Edible, but remarkably bitter. These yellow-tinged leaves are an acquired taste.
I fell in the pond for you.
Whoa. Thank you so much. I'm annoyed I couldn't do it alone, but thanks to you, my living memory plant collection is complete. Have you heard of Nephaletta? People take the fronds and use them to brew a nice warming tea. One of my books says that travelers and merchants used to drink it all the time before the war. Apparently, the second type of leaf I asked you to get, Arenaris, is really, really bitter. I heard they use it a lot. In oh fuck Christ! I heard they used it in a lot of old Alexandrian dishes. People must have really had different tastes back then. And then there's banana leaves. In Tyrol, they use the leaves to wrap different kinds of fillings before cooking them. I've never tried it personally, but that's what my hero told me. I suppose I should also tell you a little bit about her. She had the loveliest long ears, and used to talk with me all the time in Heritage Found. I remember she once laughed at me for calling her Miss. She said she wasn't as young as I thought. She knew so much about plants and animals. She'd tell me all kinds of amazing stories about her travels. I still remember what she said to me. Discovering new species is my life's work. I heard that and decided to make it my life's work too. When I told her I wanted to go on an adventure, she said to wait until I was older and wiser, ready to stand on my own 2 feet. Well, after that, I got sick. And in the end, I guess I wasn't being realistic. I was so obsessed with the idea of collecting new plants and finding all sorts of amazing trees. I forgot about my health. I've always been frail, you see. I wanted to visit Clara too, you know? The place they named this museum after. I read the town was built on top of a giant tree protected by swirling sandstorms. Apparently it's on the same continent as Alexandria. Speaking of giant trees, have you ever seen any?
The Rocktica Greatwood is filled with the biggest trees you could ever imagine.
Whoa, I've never heard about that place. You must be a traveler, just like my hero. I've given up on my idea of going on a big adventure. But after hearing your stories, I can't bear the thought of not living out my dream. Just you wait. One day, I'll see the world and all it has to offer. After all, there's so much more out there than my books could ever tell me.
You get there someday, kid. I believe it. I believe it. You'll be back someday. And you'll make those dreams come true.
Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, wait. Really? Deer? Sure. We're gonna do we're gonna do the move fight. Oh man, that was so fucking heavy. Alright, it's time to fucking die, I guess. Alright, we're all gathered up. Look at it! Oh god. The mascot parade marches headlong towards its terrifying climax. Will your fortitude falter during this final stretch? Or will you take up the baton and emerge as the head of the procession? Joy. Well, I did want to kind of pad out this video while the other ones are like an hour and a half. At least we get to do something. Thank God it's going. Oh fuck, it's back. This is my paralysis demon. up. It's time to go. You like cards, don't you? Everyone likes cards. Remember the numbers on each one. If you forget in the game, number of acorns will decide your fate. Remember them or else. I didn't see what it was. Too small. 5. 5. Everybody's going over here. This is 3. Or do I draw first? Choose wisely for your lives depend on it. Or do I draw second? I'm tired of losing. Wrong answers. Gladly accepted. Just drop these. You have a 5, right? Witching ball is going to be amazed by my balancing it. Appreciation for life. Honestly, I'd rather you be dead. Oh my, survivors. Well, it's time to draw even more cards. 6, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Draw. Draws a 5 first. Draws a 3 second. Draws a 2 third. Oh! Don't be a dick! Which card I drew first? What the? It was an out then an in? This is some bullshit! Double mosquito. Into it. Card trick. What was the third card again? Honestly, I can't. Touch the thing on the floor. Round of applause. As much as it pains me to see everyone left alive, I must bid you farewell. Perhaps your future adventures will give you the fate. Do take care on your way home. Well, that was fun. Fairly straightforward, too, thank God. It's a ball. I wish I knew what it was. Dead hip. Alright, well. And that has been all the side quests for Dawntrail. This expansion was really good. Just because it ended with this zone, I think. The Huuklamat stuff, I think, is okay. I definitely like her. She essentially goes up into like the same spot in my heart as like fucking Aamaric. So it's kind of hard to pick, like who would I side with? If it comes down to it, oh, do you help Ishkar? Do you help Tuliolal? I don't know. It's hard. I really hope at some point in time we actually get to go on dates with our characters, damn it. I would like to go on a date with Huuklamat and Aamaric and fuck Grahati and all them. Ow, I want to do that shit. Make it just like Final Fantasy VII stuff. Couldn't really do that in 15, you know. And you have to do that in 13. Either way, it's just something that people would really like. I would really like it too. I'd be kind of happy with it. Anyhow. Dawntrail is pretty good. And I hope y'all got the same like feeling after watching, like, you know, you go through the side quests. These side quests were fairly simple, straightforward. Nothing was really too difficult, over the top. It was just more story, which is what we come to Final Fantasy, what we expect from Final Fantasy. So, thank you everybody for watching. Yeah. I have a button for goodbye. So, I hope you enjoyed. Keep your mind sharp. Stay safe out there. Goodbye.